In this section, we are going to see about the Python CSV module, a special module or a built-in module which is used to handle the CSV files in Python. These are the basic two types of files available in Python to handle them. Okay, so in addition to that, there is another type of file which is the CSV file. So a CSV file is a plain text file in which tabular data is stored as comma separated values. Okay, so tabular data, which means tables. Okay, so data in the form of tables are stored in comma separated values. Okay, so in plain text method, the tabular data, this tabular data can be stored in different file systems, like CSV file can be opened in Excel, then databases. They have a tool to allow importing CSV files. Okay, so CSV files are mainly tabular data. Okay, data is arranged in the form of tables. Okay, then in the concept of plain text file, a CSV file is a plain text file which stores this tabular data or tables in the form of comma separated values. So each record or each row in a table is represented as a line, and each columns are separated by commas. Thus the name comma separated values. So each line in the file represents one row in the table. So in a CSV file, when we view it in a plain text view, then each line represents a row in a table, and where columns are separated by commas. Then each row is terminated by a new line character. Okay, so each line or each row in the table is separated by a new line. Then CSV files can be identified with its extension .csv. We have already seen that the text file, the binary file, and the CSV file, they are designated from its look, or we can identify them by their extension. For text file, it is txt. Then binary file, it is .dat. Then for CSV file, it is .csv. Okay, then these CSV files can be opened into Excel or any other databases. Okay, then comma separated values represented in the form of tabular data represented in the form of comma separated values. So consider this table. So this table is having certain values are there. So it having 4 rows and 1 header row and 3 value rows, and then 4 columns are also there. So language, then designed by, appeared, and extension. Okay, so this particular table, when it is in the table form, if it is converted into the plain text form, or if we try to open the CSV file in Notepad or any other text editor, it will appear as below. Then each row is designated by a single line, and then each column is separated by commas. As you can see here, language, then comma, designed by, again comma, then appeared, then comma, extension. So in the second row goes to second line, Python, comma, Guido van Rossum, then 1991, comma, .py. So the table form of data is converted into plain text format, and then each row is separated by a new line character. That means each row is separated by different lines, and then each column is separated by commas or any other delimiter character. Then the CSV module, like the pickle module to handle the binary files, we have the CSV module, the built-in CSV module to handle the CSV files. To read and write data into a CSV file, we need the CSV module. Okay, so to read and write data, we have to loop through the rows of CSV. That means we have to pass through each rows of a table. The CSV module's reader and writer objects read and write sequences into a CSV file. We can write the sequences in the form of a list or a dictionary, or a tuple can be written into a CSV file and can be read from the CSV file with the help of reader and writer objects. We are going to see about how to open and close the CSV files. We have already seen about how to open and close files in the case of binary files and text files. Okay, so to open a CSV file, the syntax or method or the procedure is similar as the other file types. we have the built-in open function. Like we open the text file or binary file, we have the built-in open function, then which returns a file object. This is then passed to the reader method. Okay, so in this method, following example, import CSV, then we have used the with method. Okay, so the context manager method open, then a particular file location X, and then data.csv comma rt, reading in the CSV module type. That means reading tabular form. Okay, then as f, then aliasing that particular file object as f. Closing the file is also same as the other file types. It use the built-in method called close. Okay, so in the case of using the context manager, the with method, then closing is not necessary. So example as is shown here, f dot close. It is similar to other file types like that is binary files and text files. To see how to write data into a CSV file. To store a set of data values into a CSV file, we have to use the writer function. Okay, then to iterate data over the rows, you have to use the write row function. So do you I think you are remembering this methods called read lines and read method, or write lines method used in the case of text files. Similar here, if you want to write a single row, we can use the writer method. Then if you want to add multiple rows or multiple lines into the CSV file, you have to use the write row function. We can see that the CSV module is imported. Then using the with method, we have opened the CSV file data.csv, which is in the same location as where Python is installed, and then in the write mode as file. That means we are giving an alias name to the file object. Okay, then writer object is assigned. Then next one way to assign values to the particular file. Then we are using the write row method. We are writing each row one by one. Okay, so writer is the method in here. Then writer is a file object we have created. Then writer dot write row. Then first line is written. Then writer dot writer row again, second row written. In the same order, we have completed the 4 rows. And then when we open it in the notepad, that means in the plain text view, we can see that it is appear as separated lines, and separated by, each column is separated by commas only. Okay, then each line is separated by a new line character. That means it goes to new line. After each row, it will goes to new line. Then that CSV file, when if it is in the file system, when we want to open that particular CSV file, if we double click on that particular CSV file, it will go to any other spreadsheet software like Excel. So here is a small view that displays the Excel view of that particular table. So when we open it in the plain text format, that means in the text editor, it will appear like this comma separated values separated by lines. Then when we open it in a spreadsheet software like Excel, it will be appear in the tabular form. Okay, so the created example, the created table is appearing in the form of tables in a spreadsheet software or tab software like Excel or any other kind of spreadsheet application. Then if you open it in the text editors like Notepad, it will be appearing in a comma separated values form. Okay, so that is how to write data into a CSV. We are going to see how to read from a CSV file. To read data from the CSV file, you must use the reader method. Okay, to generate a reader object. Okay, so like we created a writer object, here we have to create a reader object. Then for reading data from CSV file, we use csv.reader method. Okay, for the reading purpose, we use the csv.reader method. Then the reader function is developed to take each row of the file and make a list of all columns. So it will be returned, it returns the list of all columns separated by commas. Okay, so that is how we read from a. So here we are dealing with the same file we have created or we have write data into. Okay, so importing CSV module, then with open data.csv, then rt, then as f, writing mode, this file mode as rt, then data is equal to csv.reader, then that file object. Okay, so we have created a reader object which is data. Then for row in data, print row. Okay, so we have already said that this it returns a list of columns separated by commas. So that means each row is printed using this row variable in the data file object. Okay, reader object. Okay, so in the output window you can see that a list of first row is written here, this programming language, then comma, designed by, then again comma, appear, and then extension. That is the first list. And then again you can see an empty list is there because the new line character, okay, separating the rows. Okay, that is the reason behind that empty list coming there. Then again the first data row, then grow and do some 1991, then .py in the same order to the last row. So the empty list appearing in between these rows are the new line character or the line separator. Okay, so that is the example of how to read data from a CSV file. We are seeing some additional information like now consider that a CSV file looks like this in plain text. So in this plain text information you can see some differences there. So normally the delimiter or the separator of values or columns in a CSV file is a comma. That's why the name comma separated value. Okay, you can replace this delimiter character. Okay, you can change the delimiter character. Okay, also the row space. Okay, normally there will not be an additional row in between rows. That means the rows are separated by two new line character instead of one new line character. So we can, in such cases, we can specify the terminator value and the delimiter value in the following manner. So CSV reader, that is the reader object, CSV reader object is equal to csv.reader. Then the CSV file we are going to read. Then delimiter equal to semicolon, and then line terminator equal to the /n/n, then two new line character. Then if you give three new line character, what happens? The rows will be separated by two lines. Okay, in between there will be two lines. That means three lines will be taken in the place of one line. So that is one method of changing the delimiter or changing the character or special character which is separating the columns. Or you can increase the space between these lines, increase the indent between these lines to designate each row. That is determined by the line terminator value. Okay, so that is all about the Python CSV module. Okay, how to open the CSV file and how to close the CSV file, then how to write data into the CSV file using the writer method and the write row method, and then how to read the data from the CSV file using the reader method, that is csv.reader method, and then how to change the delimiters and the line terminator values. These are the topics we have covered in this session. Okay, so I hope you understood clearly. Then if you have any doubt, you have to contact me. Thank you.